Hi, welcome back. I'm excited to be able to talk to you today about why high school girls are making a decision not to have sex. After weeks of talking to you about why middle and high school girls are choosing to have sex, I can imagine that you would be kind of discouraged and wondering if there's any hope for this generation of teens. Well, hopefully after watching today's video, you'll realize that there is hope and that you will be encouraged that there are a lot of teenage girls out there making great decisions in this area. And what are some of the reasons why the girls have told me that they're making a decision not to have sex? The first and most obvious reason, of course, is to avoid a pregnancy or to avoid STDs. And though kids need to know about that, I don't think that that's always enough to stop girls, but for some girls, that is enough to prevent them from becoming sexually active. The second reason that I often hear from girls is because of moral and religious beliefs. And a lot of studies have shown that young people who have religious beliefs that support a message of abstinence are more likely to abstain. The third reason, and that's the one that probably surprises most parents the most, is just because they don't want to disappoint their parents. And unfortunately, a lot of parents think that teenagers' peers are more influential in their decision making than they are, and that is just not the case. I have many young people who tell me that they don't want to disappoint their parents, and that's the thing that keeps them from becoming sexually active. The next reason is that they have goals and they have dreams. And let me read you a letter that I got from a high school student, and she says, "I'm not sexually active and I'm a virgin. I have never been more proud. You made me see the value in putting my goals before something as silly and irrelevant as sex. I am so glad you kept it real and used ways to relate to us. Gosh, I wish parents would give such good advice on sex. There would be such a different result in our youth actions." The next reason is just because they respect themselves and they know their self-worth. And let me read you a couple of letters from students. The first one says, "I'm now convinced my choice of keeping my purity is the best choice. I have yet to find myself, but until I do, I'm saving myself. I value and respect myself, so I know I'm worth more than some physical pleasure with no commitment." And this last letter, I absolutely love, from a high school young lady, and she says, "When I was younger, I made the choice to stay a virgin until I got married. The decision wasn't based on religion or what my parents wanted. It was based on what I wanted. However, before you came, I'd begun to doubt that choice. It no longer seemed logical. I just couldn't think of a good enough reason not to do it anymore. Fortunately for me, you came to speak to us. And you came to speak to us at the perfect time, a time when I was doubting myself and my past choices. You reminded me that I don't need any reason other than my own self-worth." I love that. And she's right. That really is the only reason that any young lady needs to not have sex, is just because she understands her value and she understands her worth. So what can parents do? What can you do to make sure that your daughter falls in the ranks of the young ladies who've made the decision not to have sex? The first thing, and I can't stress it enough, is communicate. Communicate. Your daughter has to understand what your values are. She has to understand what you think she should do, because you're very influential. There's a blog post that I would recommend you read that I did on August 9th, 2012, and it's "When Silence is Not Golden." So please go back and read that blog post. The second thing is make sure that your daughter is surrounded by people and organizations that support the same message that you're trying to communicate with her, because the more places that she can hear the message, the more people that she can hear giving her this message, the more likely that it'll be that she will make this choice. The last reason is to approach the topic from the angle of self-respect and self-worth versus just avoiding a pregnancy, which unfortunately is the way it's approached by most parents. It's just about avoiding a pregnancy. Of course, there are many other reasons why, many other things that you can do as a parent to make it more likely that your child won't have sex. And you can read about a lot of those in some of my previous blog posts and get a lot of tips, a lot of advice that way. So thanks for stopping by, and I look forward to the next blog post where we'll talk about why high school guys are making a decision to have sex.